Here we go. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. Chase Sr. here with you. And as always, no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. Coming up, NFL Week 6 preview. A fantastic game between two of the top teams in the NFC as the San Francisco 49ers hit the road to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Niners, 3-point underdogs. This marks the second straight week in which San Francisco underdogs to the opposition. 8.5-point dogs last week to the Rams. They got the win. 3-point underdogs in this game against the Bucs on the road. We'll see what happens. Kickoff set for 4:25 p.m. Eastern, 1:25 p.m. Pacific. A couple of weeks ago, this was slated to be that early body clock game for the Niners, but it was moved back by the NFL to that late afternoon Eastern window. The over-under for this game pretty high. Odds makers expecting a lot of scoring, 47.5 there. This is a huge game. Can't wait to watch it. And this is a good litmus test for San Francisco. So let's begin here. If you think the Niners are going to beat the Buccaneers, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If not, show me that you know ball and comment why you think they'll lose. And with that, let's start the most in-depth Niners-Buccaneers preview on YouTube right now. And we will be live right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report for another watch party as we go live for every single Niners game right here on the show. The best place to experience a Niners game day outside of being at the actual game. And we're going to go live for a longer pregame show as compared to usual. So join us, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific is when the show gets underway. We'll be live before the game, during the game, after the game for a post-game reaction. So, of course, hit that subscribe button, but also a reminder, hit that bell icon and turn on your notifications. Therefore, anytime I push out a show like this, anytime we do go live, you'll get that push notification. So, the stage is really set for what I think is going to be one of the top games on this NFL Week 6 slate across the National Football League because of what these two teams have done all year, but working off the heels of what these two teams did in Week 5. The 49ers shocked the world. They were 8.5-point underdogs against the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Mac Jones balls out. San Francisco holds on to win in overtime, 26-23. And speaking of Mac Jones, what a job he's done in replacing Brock Purdy. 3-0 as a starter. He's been playing like a Pro Bowler. Props to Kyle Shanahan. I think he's having one of the best years of his coaching career, firmly in the conversation to be Coach of the Year. The fact that the Niners are 4-1, 3-0 on the road is a testament to Shanahan's work, how he has his team prepared, and how he's had Mac Jones playing really is incredible. Mac in that game against one of the top defenses in the NFL, 33 of 49, 342 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Christian McCaffrey didn't do a lot once again on the ground, but through the air, once again, highly impactful. Kendrick Bourne had a career game, 10 catches for a $142. This Niners defense did struggle a little bit as Matthew Stafford was just humming. 30 of 47, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, but they got the big 4th down stop late. They forced a couple of turnovers. They needed to play perfect. They pretty much did, which is why they were able to win that game with a bunch of backups. And then a few days later, on Sunday, the Buccaneers go on the road, short-handed, difficult place to play, and they outlast the Seahawks 38-35. This was an incredible game because of the seesaw that we were riding back and forth as viewers of this ball game, especially with the way that Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold were just kind of trading punches throughout that ball game. Baker, 29 of 33, 379 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. The Bucs were without Bucky Irving, going to be without him once again this week. That's big. He's a really good young running back. In his place, Rashad White, very good back as well. Runs 14 times for 41 yards, but did find the end zone twice. Emeka Egbuka is a rising star. The rookie goes off for 7 catches and a $163 and a touchdown against the Seahawks. Keep in mind, that's a stellar defense that they have. Sam Darnold was also superb. 28 of 34, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns and a pick. That interception very costly. That led to the Buccaneers game-winning field goal as the time ran out. Kenneth Walker really good, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, another Ohio State wideout, 8 catches, 132 yards, and a touchdown. For that Niners game, it was really craziness defined, right? Mac Jones, phenomenal. Kendrick Bourne, the game of his life. They got the Blake Corum fumble. The Rams missed a field goal. Eddie Pinheiro connects on a 59-yard field goal, the longest of his career. San Francisco also blocked an extra point. You had the Alfred Collins miracle fumble forced at the 1-yard line when it looked like Kyron Williams was going to trot in for a touchdown for the Rams to take the lead at the end of that fourth quarter. Eddie Pinheiro's overtime field goal grazed off that left upright and went in. What a job that he's done in replacing Jake Moody. The margins in the NFL are razor thin, and San Francisco was losing so many games last year because of Moody. Now they're winning a lot of games this year because of Eddie Dinero Pinheiro. And then, of course, the Niners got that fourth down stop for that walk-off win. A lot had to go right for San Francisco, and it was a hard-earned victory. A lot went right, and they pulled off that sizable upset. That game was crazy to start Week 5 on Thursday. And then on Sunday, there were a bunch of nutty games, and it included this Bucs-Seahawks game, which was wild. The Bucs went up 13-0. The Seahawks came back. They took the lead. They went up 14-13. Late in the fourth quarter, Seattle went up 35-28, thanks to Sam Darnold moving the ball up and down the field at will, and obviously Baker did that too. And it was such a fun game to watch because of the storylines of Baker and Darnold being cast away by a couple of teams, and now they're playing like top 10 quarterbacks right now. But stylistically, with the way that they played in that game, both gunslingers, the Bucs tied it at 35-35 late as Baker made a really good play improvisationally and out of structure, rolling to his left. He found Sterling Shepard. And then after the Seahawks got the ball back after it was locked up at 35 apiece, Darnold tried to dirt it, throws it off a helmet of a Buccaneers defender into the hands of Levante David. Bucs take over in field goal range. Chase McLaughlin at the horn, field goal good, ball game. And so both these teams are coming off dramatic victories on the road, which further adds to the intrigue of this game. And both these teams, 4-1 in the NFC, fighting for potentially the number 1 seed in the conference. This is also a rematch of the game that happened in November of last year. It was an interesting game, to say the least. And to give you a refresher as to what happened in that game, Jake Moody missed 3 field goals. And then Brock Purdy embarked on a game-winning drive, connected a couple of times with Ricky Pearsall on that drive. And Jake Moody, after those 3 misses, connected for the game winner. Earlier in that game, by the way, Ricky Pearsall had the first career touchdown, 45 yards, where he beat Antoine Winfield to the pylon. There was a lot of fun moments in that game. A big George Kittle touchdown, both these teams going back and forth. Some good defensive performances as well. And there was also a notable development in that game when Deebo Samuel got in the face of Jake Moody because he was missing field goals left and right. Then the long snapper, Tabor Pepper, got in the face of Deebo, and Deebo grabbed him by the neck. It goes down as a pretty infamous moment in Niners franchise history, and certainly an entertaining moment in the midst of that game. Tabor Pepper, no longer on the team. Jake Moody, no longer on the team. Deebo Samuel, playing pretty well for Washington. As for my scouting report on the Buccaneers, I can't say enough good things about what Baker Mayfield's been able to do. Last 3 years, including this year, he's had 3 different OCs, 3 different play callers. He's an absolute dog. And in the last 2 years, 2023, 2024, now into this year, for 3 straight years, he has been playing like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He has a really strong arm, a very snappy delivery. He gets rid of the ball very quickly. He's such a gamer. Plays with moxie, plays with swagger, has this competitive edge, which is really contagious to his teammates. He can make plays with his feet, extend plays out of structure, and the Buccaneers are never out of the game because Baker always has belief that they can come back. This unbelievable will. And right now, Mike Evans is out because of a hamstring injury. Chris Godwin's looking pretty damn good coming off that bad ankle injury from last year. And there's a rising star on this Buccaneers offense. Emeka Egbuka is a stud. Now, 2 weeks ago, he got shut down by Quinyon Mitchell. But he played so well against one of the better defenses in the NFL in Week 5 against Seattle. And so far this year, he's really had this great rapport going with Baker. And I think the sky is the limit for him. Right when the Buccaneers drafted him and they got him inside the building, they were raving about the rookie out of Ohio State. You have to be ready for this Buccaneers defense, led by Todd Bowles and called by Todd Bowles. He is going to blitz a lot. That's his MO. A former DB from his playing days, went to Temple University. That's where I went, was a good DB at the NFL level. And his calling card as a defensive mind, as a coordinator, as a head coach with the Jets, now with the Bucs, is that he will send pressure looks to the opposing quarterback, and he's never going to shy away from being aggressive. Some big injury news for the Bucs. Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, two of their top players on offense are hurt. They've also been banged up along the offensive line. They lost two starters. They did get back Tristan Wirfs a couple of weeks ago, so that's a big boost. And what's impressive about this Buccaneers team, Jason Light doesn't get enough credit for being one of the best GMs in the sport from a talent acquisition standpoint, drafting, developing, free agency, bringing in a guy like Baker, signing him to one of the more team-friendly deals in the sport. He has become one of the top GMs in the game. But the Buccaneers as a staff have done a great job of churning out these offensive coordinators. I mean, you lose the likes of Dave Canales and Liam Cohen, who are doing some nice things in rebuild projects with the Jags and the Panthers, and the offense doesn't miss a beat. Very impressive what they've been able to do. And going back to Baker, what a season that he's having. One of my bold predictions prior to this year was that he'd be top 10 in MVP voting because I thought he played like an MVP last year. He's already won a couple of playoff games. He's a big-time player. He's completed 65% of his passes, 7.5 yards per attempt, 10 touchdowns to only 1 pick, and a quarterback rating of 104.4. He is going to be difficult to defend, especially with the lack of pass rush for San Francisco. Niners injury news. It is long. Brock Purdy, toe. I'm recording this on Tuesday. He did not practice on Monday. Mac Jones, knee. He was dressed, helmet and shoulder pads on. He didn't practice either, so if he can't go, Adrian Martinez going to be the starting quarterback. Then the Niners would probably need to make a move to have a backup. Ricky Pearsall, knee. Jawan Jennings, pretty much everything. Yetur Gross-Matos injured his hamstring. He's going to miss some time. George Kittle not going to come back. Hopefully comes back in Week 7 for San Francisco. Alfred Collins has a knee sprain. We'll see if he can play. The huge peanut punch against Kyren Williams against the Rams. Upton Stout, it is a low ankle sprain, not a high ankle sprain. If he can't play, Chase Lucas will get a lot of snaps. Jordan Watkins hasn't played all year, calf. And then Malik Mustafa's practice window has been open. One of the top young safeties in the game last year. That could be a nice addition for San Francisco. There's also a big factor here anytime you play in Tampa. And obviously, we flip the calendar here to October. We're 7 days into the month as of this recording on October 7th. But when you play in Tampa, you always have to worry about the temperatures being high, and with that, humidity. A couple of weeks ago, the Eagles played in Tampa. The real field temperature was over 100 degrees for the entire game. That was the last time the Buccaneers played at home. But it's shaping up to be pretty good weather for the Niners playing in this environment at Raymond James Stadium, the Pirate shit. Sunday's forecast, a high of 85, low of 65, and the real field temperature, obviously this can change over the course of hours and days, and rain can spark at any time, is going to be around 85 degrees. That's huge. If it's over 100 degrees and you're not acclimated with that climate, it can be really difficult from a stamina perspective. We're only getting started with our preview, but I'm dying to know who you got in this football game. Type SF for San Francisco, TB for Tampa Bay. Let me know down in the comments section right now. Our sponsor coming up here just around the corner, but you know what's also coming up around the corner? My keys to the game, matchups to watch, and what the Niners must do to win this ball game. You don't want to miss it. That aforementioned sponsor, today's 49ers Report, brought to you by our friends at Omaha Steaks. They offer unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. I work out a ton. I really care about my health and nutrition and the foods that I eat. I love Omaha Steaks. And you'll love this deal. Save big with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com. And when you use the code 49ers, you get 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their early Black Friday sale. For an extra $35 off, use that code 49ers at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. The early Black Friday sale is the perfect time to shop for the best deals. Plus, orders placed by 6 p.m. Eastern ship the same day. Grass-fed, grain-finished beef has more marbling for exceptional flavor and is the choice of steakhouses and professional chefs all around the world. Omaha Steaks offers an exclusive lineup of USDA-certified tender steaks and their fan-favorite filet mignons. That's what I love as well. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917, a family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. They also carry mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, and delectable desserts. Go to omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide, plus an extra 20% off select favorites and more limited time deals during their early Black Friday sale. You use that code 49ers at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details. A big thanks to our advertiser, Omaha Steaks, for making today's San Francisco 49ers report possible. All right, to the back half of the show, where we really dive into the X's and O's. This is the San Francisco 49ers report. My name is Chase Sr., and coming up, what a matchup we have on Sunday in Week 6. Niners, Buccaneers, and Tampa. I'm going to give you my keys to the game, top matchups to watch, what the Niners must do to win, and of course, my prediction for this ball game. Let's first set the table by taking a look at how both these teams match up on the offensive and defensive sides of the football. On offense for the Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield, they've been a highly productive unit, averaging 27 points per game. That ranks 7th in the NFL. 11th in yards per game at 353.8. They're also 11th in yards per play and third down conversion rate at 5.6 yards and 41.5%. They have struggled a little bit turning drives into touchdown scoring drives when they get inside the red area. 25th in red zone touchdown percentage at 47%. Defensively, they are giving up 26.4 points per game. That ranks 23rd in the NFL. A lot of that is because of how frenetic these games have been. They're 11th in yards per game, 15th in yards per play, 15th on third downs. Their red zone defense has also struggled. The opposition is scoring inside the 20, touchdowns 71.4%. Whereas the Niners in the red zone have a red zone touchdown scoring percentage of 42.1%, 28th in the NFL. They're 22nd in points per game, but 5th in yards per game, only 17th in yards per play. Not a ton of explosives, especially on the ground. They have been good on third downs, 45.7%. That's 5th. On defense for the Niners, 6th in points per game. What a marvelous job Robert Saleh's unit has been doing. 15th in yards per game, 10th in yards per play, 5th in third down conversion rate, 8th inside the red zone. Both of those numbers, so much better league ranking-wise as compared to last year. And so my keys to the game here, can this banged-up Niners defense slow down Baker Mayfield, especially late in games where he has been the ultimate clutch player? When it comes down to a 2-minute drill, when things are moving quickly, I don't think there's been a better quarterback this year in crunch time situations than Baker. And his numbers are terrific. I think he's a bona fide MVP candidate. You take him away from Tampa Bay, they're a bad ball club. He's completing 65% of his throws, 10 touchdowns, 1 pick, a quarterback rating of 104.4. And you look at the Buccaneers' schedule so far. What do you notice here? All of their wins have come in one-score games. All of the games that they've played have been decided by 1 score or less. And there's been a constant here. Baker Mayfield game-winning drive against the Falcons. Baker Mayfield go-ahead game-winning drive against the Texans. Baker Mayfield game-winning drive against the Jets. Baker Mayfield nearly a game-winning drive against the Eagles through a red zone pick. Baker Mayfield, you got the interception but he also tied the game up at 35 and helped to win the game with some late game heroics. He's been incredibly clutch, and with the Niners lacking a pass rush, I'm just concerned that Baker's going to have all day to throw, and if he does, he's going to carve you up because that's what he's been doing the last 2+ years, 2023, 2024, into this year. And when you blitz him, which is sometimes what Robert Saleh needs to do because the front four can't get home, he's one of the best and most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL at beating the blitz. He was blitzed a league-high rate last year, and he completed more than 70% of his passes, and he was terrific. Key to the game number 2. Every Buccaneers game has been crazy. Every Niners game has pretty much been crazy. I think the flow of this game could be fast. It could be frenetic. It could be a little bit crazy. And I think we're going to be riding the seesaw here, going back and forth between these two offenses. And because of that, Kyle Shanahan can't be conservative. He needs to be aggressive. And he can't do what he did against the Rams. Aggressive in the first half, conservative in the second half. I want to see Shanahan put his pedal to the floor throughout the entire duration of the game. This Bucs offense has been unrelenting, nonstop, and aggressive. Even if the Niners build a lead, it is not safe because of the quarterback that you are facing and going up against. And no lead has been maintained by the opposition going up against this Bucs team. And so even if the Niners go up 7, 14, I want to see Kyle Shanahan continue to be aggressive. Go for it on fourth downs when you're in an area on the field where it makes a lot of sense. Be aggressive with your play calling. And of course, for San Francisco, you're going up against a bad red zone defense in a game that I expect to be close, high scoring. You got to be able to capitalize inside the red area. Another reason why I want to see the Niners as a team be aggressive, the odds makers are expecting this to be a high-scoring game. 47.5 is the over-under, Bucs -3, so the odds makers are expecting this to be a 25-22 type of ball game. I just don't want to see Shanahan be conservative because if he does, I think that gives belief to Tampa Bay, gives them fuel and momentum, and we've seen them capitalize on that this year. All right, from a matchup standpoint, I'm worried about D Winners in coverage. Last year, D Winners was really good in coverage, but Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford found something on tape that they wanted to exploit, and they wanted to specifically go after D Winners. They didn't want to target Fred Warner. Nobody really does, so they went after D Winners, and D Winners against the Rams really, really struggled. And there are a couple of players who he might be matched up against throughout the course of the game. Cade Otton, I think, has been a very underrated player for this Buccaneers team the last couple of years, and he has been such a great security blanket for Baker Mayfield. They kind of know each other like the back of their own hands. 10 catches for 115 yards this year. Not gaudy numbers, but he's really good, and he can be matched up against D Winners. D Winners could also have to cover Emeka Egbuka a little bit. Now, without Mike Evans, he's been playing more on the outside, but if he lines up in the slot, that's a matchup that really favors Tampa Bay. And so when you think about players going up against a player like this, I don't want to see D Winners going up against Egbuka. If Upton Stout plays, you worry about him holding up against Egbuka in a rookie-on-rookie matchup. If Chase Lucas has to play, I'd give the edge here to Egbuka. So something to keep in mind here, because Winners against the Rams was not good. He was targeted 11 times. He gave up 8 catches for 83 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a rating of 137.7. Another one from a matchup standpoint, this Niners interior offensive line has not been good this year. Jake Brendel is one of the worst starting centers in the game, and he struggles to hold up against strong interior defensive linemen. Connor Colby has not been good at left guard. I never thought I'd be saying this, but San Francisco misses Ben Barch. Dominic Pooney has not played well at the right guard spot. Well, who anchors the Buccaneers defensive line? Vita Vea. And Vita Vea is an absolute load to have to deal with, and he's one of the top interior defenders in the game. And at 346 pounds, he can move a mountain, he can disrupt and blow up plays, and I have no confidence in Connor Colby or Jake Brendel to hold up against Vita Vea. And this can really impact what the Niners are trying to accomplish, something that they're trying to get going, which is running the ball. And they've been one of the worst running teams in the NFL all year long. Christian McCaffrey's numbers running-wise, not good. Receiving-wise, he's been one of the best receiving producers across the NFL. But on the ground, 91 carries, 282 yards, 3.1 yards per carry. The Niners are the only team in the NFL going into week 6 that does not have a rushing touchdown. Going to be hard to run it against Vita Vea. And this is big because if the Niners just get some type of balance going on offense, it will help them out tremendously. And I mean tremendously. But right now, they just can't get that run game going. And it's impacting them in between the 20s and in the 20 as well. And this Buccaneers defense, really good against the run. That's the Vita Vea effect. Teams are running it less than 42% of the time against Tampa Bay, 24.4 carries per game on average. That's number 10. But they're mustering only 3.8 yards per carry. That's 6th best for any defense in the NFL. And opposing rushing yards per game, 92.4. 8th best in the National Football League. And then lastly, more quick hitters in the pass game. I really like what Kyle Shanahan and Mac Jones specifically have done when they've worked with one another in the 3 starts that Mac Jones has had, where sometimes Mac Jones by design will take the snap and you think it's going to be a long developing play and instead throws the little pop pass. It catches the defense off guard. You're able to pick up some quick and easy yards, but over time, it's able to negate and slow down the pass rush a little bit. And going back to point number 4 here, this Niners offensive line is not good. They can't hold up in pass protection. They can't run block. And against really good defensive lines and really good defenses, that's when they also really struggle. And I'm going to explain reasons why the Niners need to protect solely in this game. But you look at Mac Jones's throwing chart against the Rams. What do you notice? I mean, there really aren't any explosive throws downfield. A lot of the throws that he was making within 10 yards. And you do that, you keep Mac Jones upright and clean, you limit the hits that he takes in the pocket, and you're able to slow down a defense that loves to pin its ears back. This Niners offense, you have to have answers against the blitz when you play against Todd Bowles. Tampa Bay blitzes about 40% of the time. That's top 5, top 6 across the NFL. Obviously, those numbers changing coming off of Monday Night Football, and those numbers are refreshing. But Todd Bowles is always among the leaders as far as blitz percentages for his defense. This 49ers offensive line is not good. Mac Jones is really banged up. If he can't play in this game, I'm recording this on Tuesday, or if he does get hurt, it's Adrian Martinez time, who's a good athlete, but he always turns the ball over at the worst times. That happened at Kansas State. It happened at Nebraska. That's what he was known for. And the Niners don't stand a chance winning this game if they have to play Adrian Martinez against Tampa Bay. And so this Mac and Kyle quick game in the pass game has been nice. I want to see that continue. So with that, predict the score. Niners, Buccaneers, one of the marquee matchups here in Week 6. And you know what? I think this Niners team has something special brewing. And I think San Francisco, given their rest advantage, having the mini bye, hopefully they get some players back. They got some good mojo going, some confidence going. I think San Francisco wins this game. In another close one, 26-24 is my final.